think what surprised me most was the unanimous view of the Middle East experts here about the trouble their region is in, the divide between the secular and the religious view of the world, the problems, the intense problems of Syria and the wider region.
The panel that I enjoyed the most was the nightcap last night, which was on cybersecurity. And I continue to be impressed by Oxford Analytica's ability to think digital and think in the future about where data and the internet are taking us.
One of the things we've really noticed is just how closely related water, energy and food are. I mean, obviously you need a lot of water to create food, we need a lot of energy to create food. I had a nice steak last night and most people don't realize that for every calorie of steak you consume, and I've obviously been consuming relatively but you actually have 40 calories of fossil fuel behind it.
Right.
So pressures in one area can lead to more pressures in other areas.
We have the right skills with the right workforce in the right location to keep the economies going. And I think that's where we can get some real great dialogue and discussion. On the table, our governments, our businesses, our universities all working together to make certain that the talent workforce for the future is being developed today.
Part of the problem is this, that we've kind of asked too much of our policymakers, or they've asked too much of themselves. QE policies started off, I would suggest, as being a bit like a powerful antibiotic designed to cure a really significant problem in the global economy. In that sense, they work because you avoided this nasty depression. But they've now become, I would say, a bit like an addictive painkiller. Nice to be on, incredibly difficult to get off, but also potentially associated with damaging side effects.
The main reason why China has slowed, in my opinion, is because they deliberately slowed the damn place. And I just spent a bit of time there. In fact, the past couple of weeks, spent a bit of time with some Chinese policymakers here. And I am really impressed by most of what I hear. This is a country that knows about the scale of its challenges, in my opinion, and tries to confront, certainly the economic ones, tries to confront them all, in complete contrast to India.
I'm the most excited about Japan that I've been in 20 years. You know, Mr. Abe has captured the imagination of the people. There's been more emotion and more excitement about the policies than I expected.
American interests today are pulled in many directions. After a decade dominated by 2 wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and a global economic crisis, it is understandable that some Americans are tempted to turn a little inward. But if we can find the resolve and the persistence to work together effectively on the transatlantic trade and investment partnership, and on the challenges of the Middle East, and on the many other problems and opportunities on the road ahead, then I'm certain that the day after tomorrow, and many days and months and years beyond that, can be a moment of revitalization and great possibility for Americans and Europeans.